Innate Immunotherapeutics is a medical biotechnology company. That's a bit of a mouthful, but what it means is we've got a drug in clinical development for secondary progressive multiple sclerosis. Progressive MS is important to us because right now there are no drugs to treat those patients, and so from a commercial standpoint as well, that represents a very large unmet need, probably $4 to $7 billion US. So our lead drug is called MIS416. What it is a drug that modulates the innate wing of the immune system. Now, in the context of progressive multiple sclerosis, what we're achieving is an anti-inflammatory effect inside the brain, and we are also upregulating the body's own ability to repair that myelin, which has been damaged in multiple sclerosis. So right now, MIS416 is in phase 2B clinical trial. So that means we're in a study designed to really test the efficacy of this drug. That trial started in late 2014. We've recruited all 93 patients that we need, and we had the last patient come in April of this year. That trial will finish in the clinic very early May next year, 2017. And we expect to have a clinical study report which will present the results of that study in August or September next year. The interesting thing about our drug is if we can demonstrate quite clearly that we are getting an anti-inflammatory effect inside the brain, that could be very important in some other indications where inflammation inside the brain is part of the disease pathology. A couple of examples would be Alzheimer's, for example. Inflammation doesn't cause Alzheimer's, but inflammation can occur in the Alzheimer's brain, and that inflammation is going to have to be treated somehow, or else it's going to make Alzheimer's worse. Another example is refractory epilepsy, where sometimes the anti-seizure drugs stop working, and we think that's because there's inflammation taking place inside the brain. So we reported to the market at the end of September that we were holding $7.7 million cash. That was after a very successful fundraising campaign. We raised about $6.5 million in the last quarter. That was a combination of rights issues and placements with our existing shareholders. And we also received a $1.8 million R&D credit, so that's always nice money to get back in. And those funds will take us through to the end of our phase 2 trial. So at this stage, we've got no immediate need for further capital. In the next 12 months, we'll have a readout from our trial. If we get a solid result, and we're feeling quite confident about the likely outcome, then we will be actively pursuing a major corporate transaction. That could be the outright sale of the company, which would be a complete return of capital to shareholders, or a major licensing transaction. But any which way, in the next 12 months, all of these pieces that we've been working so hard on are going to come together. And the most important thing, obviously, will be the results of that phase 2 trial.